from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello, and welcome to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. My name is Todd, and here are today's top headlines. Thank you so much for being with us. President Joe Biden and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo are announcing on Friday $1 billion worth of federal grants for manufacturing clean energy, farming, biotech, and other sectors that will go to 21 regional partnerships. The winners were chosen from 529 initial applicants vying for grants that were part of last year's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. The Biden administration has repeatedly laid out a vision for the economy that is more self-sufficient and driven by high-tech manufacturing and the development of renewable energy. In quotes, "The whole point of this is we're not going to let you get left behind as we transition to a more digital economy, to a more technical economy." End quotes. Next news. President Joe Biden is asking Congress to provide $13.7 billion in emergency dollars for Ukraine as U.S. aid to the war-torn country is running out. The request, which comes as lawmakers are preparing to return to Washington, is part of a larger $47.1 billion emergency spending package the White House is proposing to pay for the COVID-19 response, the ongoing monkeypox outbreak, and help for recent natural disasters in Kentucky and other states. Congress will have to extend current financing for federal agency before it runs out on September 30th. The money for Ukraine would be on top of $40 billion that was approved earlier this year. Administration officials said that roughly three-quarters of that military and budgetary support has been dispersed or committed. Next news. The White House counsel under then-President Donald J. Trump and his top deputy arrived at a federal courthouse Friday to appear before a federal grand jury investigating efforts to undo the 2020 presidential election. Pat Cipollone was the top White House lawyer at the end of the Trump administration as Trump and outside allies pressed for ways to overturn the Republicans' loss to Democrat Joe Biden, culminating in the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Cipollone vigorously resisted efforts to undo the election and has said he did not believe there was sufficient fraud to have affected the outcome of the race. Next news. The White House announced Friday that President Joe Biden will host Pacific Island leaders in Washington later this month amid growing worries by the United States and Western allies about China's activity in the region. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement the meetings September 28th to the 29th, in quotes, "will demonstrate the United States' deep and enduring partnership with Pacific Island countries and the Pacific region," end quotes. President Biden has invited Micronesia, the Marshall Islands, Palau, Nauru, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Samoa, Tuvalu, Tonga, and Fiji to take part in the summit, according to the White House. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24 Global News Update in English. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. Bernadette Dementiev said she cried when she learned of Democrat Neri Peltola's win in Alaska's U.S. House special election, making Peltola the first Alaska native to be elected to Congress. In quotes, "I feel a little bit of relief knowing that somebody will be down there that can really relate and understand what it is to be Alaskan, to be an Alaska native, and to have that connection to our homeland," end quote, said Dementiev, executive director of the Gwich'in Steering Committee. The indigenous Gwich'in have fought for years against efforts to drill in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, and she hopes to lay out their concerns with Peltola. Peltola, 49 years old, who is Yupik, is set to serve the remainder of the late Republican Representative Don Young's term, which ends in January. Next news. It's been more than a decade since President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle welcomed back George W. Bush and his wife Laura for the unveiling of their White House portraits, part of a beloved Washington tradition that for decades managed to transcend partisan politics. President Joe Biden and his wife Jill are set to revive that ritual after an awkward and anomalous gap in the Trump years, when they host the Obamas on Wednesday for the big reveal of their portraits in front of scores of friends, family, and staff. The Obama paintings will not look like any in the White House portrait collection to which they will be added. They were America's first Black president and First Lady. Next news. During a primary debate in May, Iowa Republican Zach Nunn and his two rivals were asked to raise their hand if they thought all abortions should be illegal. In quotes, "All abortions, no exceptions," in quotes, the moderator clarified. Nunn's left hand went up. The image has shadowed the Iowa state senator as he seeks to unseat the U.S. Representative Cindy Axsmith, one of the most vulnerable House Democrats this election season. The two-term Congresswoman has featured video of Nunn from the debate in TV ads she's been running since early August. Nunn is among well more than a dozen strictly anti-abortion Republicans running in competitive House, Senate, and governor's races this fall in Minnesota, Nevada, Kansas, Arizona, and elsewhere, who are trying to distance themselves from their past statements. Next news. When news hit that Mikhail Gorbachev had died at age 91, Associated Press journalists around the world began sharing their Gorby stories, from covering the last Soviet leader or interviewing him in Russia or abroad in the 3 decades that followed. They remembered his temper and sense of humor, his sharp intellect, even in his later years, when he was willing to talk at length about his hopes and his regrets. That is, if you could follow his long, rambling sentences in his southern Russian accent and his annoying tendency to refer to himself in the third person. For some of them, though, it was the warmth of an aging Gorbachev that they remember. They shared tea, the arm around the shoulder. Gorbachev was a man who changed the world, and the Associated Press was there. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. An Argentina-based yoga group sexually exploited vulnerable women it called geishas to get money and influence from wealthy and powerful men around the world, including opera star Placido Domingo, who knew the organization's leaders for more than 2 decades, according to interviews with former members and local authorities. A sprawling investigation into the sect like Buenos Aires Yoga School, which operated for over 30 years in Argentina's capital, has uncovered what authorities are calling a criminal organization involved in sex trafficking, money laundering, involuntary servitude, illegal practice of medicine, and other crimes. 19 members have been arrested in the investigation that reaches into the U.S., where 6 more suspects are sought. Next news. President Joe Biden will meet with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa this month, the White House announced Thursday, as the administration looks to draw African nations closer to the U.S. at a time when South Africa and many of its neighbors have staked out neutral ground on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Announcement of the September 16th visit comes on the heels of the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to South Africa last month, in which he said the Biden administration sees Africa's 54 nations as equal partners in tackling global problems. But the administration has been disappointed that South Africa and much of the continent have declined to follow the U.S. in condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Next news. Heavy fighting continued Friday near Europe's largest nuclear power plant in a Russian-controlled area of eastern Ukraine, a day after experts from the UN's nuclear watchdog agency voiced concerns about structural damage to the sprawling Zaporizhzhia site. Britain's defense ministry says shelling continued in the district where the Zaporizhzhia power plant sits. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's office said Russian shelling damaged houses, gas pipelines, and other infrastructure in the Nikopol region on the other bank of the Dnieper River, part of the fighting in several areas of eastern and southern Ukraine overnight. The team of inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency braving gunfire and artillery blasts along their route. Next news. Planes carrying fresh supplies are surging across a humanitarian air bridge to flood-ravaged Pakistan as the death toll surged past 1,200 people, officials said Friday, with families and children at special risk of disease and homelessness. The 9th flight from the United Arab Emirates and the first from Uzbekistan were the latest to land in Islamabad overnight as a military-backed rescue operation elsewhere in the country reached more than 3 million people affected by the disaster. 2 more planes from UAE and Qatar with aid will arrive in Pakistan later Friday, And a Turkish train carrying relief goods for flood victims was on its way to the impoverished nation, according to the Foreign Ministry. This has been the daily global news update of Millennium News TV 24/7. Thank you for watching. My name is Todd. Please log in to get the latest news on all of our social networking sites. That means Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. On TikTok, we are Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers, now on both network broadcasting, Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV. Also, all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment, our latest news, views, and editorials, our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA, Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Please stay with Millennium News 24/7. We thank you, and God bless you wherever you are. Peace on earth. Thank you.